Hey, Dave Knight Trading here, YouTube. Hello. Today is the first day of September. I need to change my calendar around. Looking at the NASDAQ, I'm in my sim. Made some money in the
Trapped orders with exhaustion
got
box
47
on ES.
ticks in some crazy moving markets early. So I'm kind of happy where I am right now on the evaluation account. Day two, by the way. Trading two contracts today. Notice that I've got five in the sim. I want to go back and look
Potential TX on ES.
at
Potential
different.
double TX on ES.
You know, we got it. We got to hit the RTY here at some point. I would need the RTY off. Let's find the RTY chart. Let's go here. Get the indicators.
Potential TBS on RVY.
At some point, and I want to take off voice alerts. Apply. I don't want to hear RTY voice alerts. The only voice alerts I want to hear is the ES right now until I feel otherwise. Let's get rid of the RTY. Crazy moving market right now, by the way. But we want to go back and take a look at high volume spikes again. Gosh, guys, I'm excited right now. I think I found something that's going to be tradable for me again, and I'm kind of excited right now, to be honest. I slept good last night for the first time in a while, knowing that I found something similar to how I was getting paid at TopStep, recognizing volume spikes and then trading the reverse off of it. So I guess what we want to look at today is go back to 9:30, and we're going to start looking at volume and see what we see and go from there. So what I'm going to do here, so you don't have to wait for me to rewind all the way back to 9:30. I'm going to pause the video and you'll catch me obviously at the 9:30 mark. 1 second. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you can see this, but I've been in nutty bars. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get that over there to that. There's Nutty Bar Trading, by the way. Hey, Nutty Bar. Gotta find out his first name. So anyone knows Nutty Bar's first name, put that down there for me. I know he comes from an Amish background, believe it or not. I believe that's what he told me. I've heard before. But yeah, I got his little screen. He's actually pretty cool. I like him. He's transparent. Uh, I like how he goes after some traders out there, like I used to. Back in the day, I used to go after the the traders that are just in it for um, getting paid for putting up bullshit courses and whatnot. I like that about him too as well. I've heard him talk about I think it was Patrick Weiland and a couple other guys. In the day, there was all kinds of. Go back to some of my early videos. You know, I attacked some of those dudes that were charlatans as well. All right, so I'm going to pause here. We're going to keep on rolling back to the 9:30 mark. All right, we made it. Jeez, that took forever to get back on the even with the wheel. All right, so 9:29 coming into 9:30, and what do I want to look for now is spikes in volume, big spikes, not just little bitty things. These aren't. We need to get 9:30, and usually I like to wait 5 minutes before I do anything. Um, we had 2746, 239 right up there. 1634, 531 right here. That would signify the long should be, as long as this holds, I'm going to rephrase so I don't get misquoted, as I get misquoted from my football team. This right here is the highest percentage volume move. So unless it gets busted through, it's a long signal. Okay, it becomes a short signal below it. Looks like that didn't do anything. 362, 531. Still haven't really moved 5 minutes yet. So right now, let's look here. Got to be Johnny on the spot and see. So we have 239, 2746. Volume of 2746, percentage of 239, 1634, 531. Looks like it offsets here at 1921, right? 362 and 531. That's like 900 versus 239. So the long is greater than the short roughly right here. Here we're turned over right here, 2450, 2487, 754. The short becomes greater than the long unless it busts through here. Nice trade there. Not enough, right? 1773, 1746, a great place to get out of your short. Still not really enough to cover everything yet. Look, it's trading back down here again, by the way. All right, so really nothing on this whole move to say I want to be long. Right here is a great short signal. You could have made your money before the 935 mark right here on this one trade alone. Been done by 935 today. All right, let's move on. See what else we find. Nothing here is saying go long. Nothing here is saying go long yet. There's definitely a cover of the short though. Covering of the short. So it should be flat right now, you would think. Looking for something. Here's something, here's something. Right here, here's a good long signal.
Potential
Nope.
TX on
Loss.
ES. Potential double TX on ES. Trapped orders
look
with
back at
exhaustion
this.
box on ES.
534%, 18%. So trying to form a bottom, fails. If I had to put a setup volume or grade on it, this is kind of maybe a B setup, where this one over here that we looked at, well, you saw that 934. Let's go back to it. The 934 setup, this is an A setup. Right there, that's the best setup we got right now, right? So if I was going to write in my journal, that would be, I would say that would be number 1 bar, 2487, 754% on 1 bar. HVS, and I would have a down arrow on it, high volume spike, and I would need, and at that level it's at 15645.75. So it's at, I mean, it's got to get really above that to negate that signal on the short side, unless there's a better signal on the short. So it would bounce, you would think you would bounce between here, 15,645 and whatever the low would be print on the volume. You have this 22,594 right here. I didn't even see that
Potential
one.
TX on ES.
So that could have been a cover there. I didn't even see that one. 1594. So that offsets this one, you would think. You'd still be in the short. I would be close. I would use this bar here and this high right there. It looks like I'd still be in it. So even though that printed, I still would be in a short side trade. Trading lower again, huh? So to change over, so this ends up being a failure bar then. You have the offset in volume, so this would be long covering, or basically short weak longs covering now. So you got to think of it two different ways, right? This up here, which way am I going? Wrong way. This is either shorts coming in the market or shorts covering, weak shorts. It could be one or the other. If it closes above it, it ends up being weak shorts covering. You're looking for, I guess you're looking for an ODD trade at that point to go short. So here's your longs covering or longs. At the point in time at this, you don't know if it's long covering or if it's actually a long movement. This could be the offsetting volume of these shorts here offsetting here. So whoever bought here, who sold here, rebought here, and you can see it is actually weak longs at this point after it busts through. So you don't know if it could be. The way I look at high volume spikes, let's get it right. It's a footprint in the sand. It doesn't necessarily mean which way the market's going to go. It's just giving you an indicator that this here is a good signal maybe to go after the short side. This here is a signal to cover or go long. If it busts through that level, then you want out. And maybe even go short again. And obviously the short side of that trade was a lot more prevalent right there at the 930 going into what actually to the 950s it was coming down, right? And now we're looking for another high volume spike to go long. You don't want to get caught in any of this bullshit, because over here you've got something signifying that it got busted through, right? You don't want to be long in this market when this couldn't hold, right? This right here, let's see, this is like yesterday, right? Here's your two levels. This held, so that right there has to be the mark that it's got to get above to break through this short selling that went in. This tried to hold this, ends up
Potential
being
TX
short
on
covering,
Potential double
and it
TX
presses
on
lower.
ES.
So this ends up being the level that you're like, this didn't hold, right? So this 2280, 1594% didn't hold and didn't send the market this way. Maybe a good place to cover or get out of half your contracts if you're trading a series of contracts. If you're doing my tortoise and the hare strategy, right? Hare is out here and tortoise is still in, trailing behind it. All right. So now we're looking for something better than this to be long. Otherwise, we really want to stay short. Our bias is short until we see something that signifies, and none of this is good. None of this is good. None of it. None of it. None of it. None of it. Everything is still stronger short. Still stronger short. Press move up. This ends up being a good spot perhaps to look for a short again. It's like right there is your short move.
Trapped
Okay, here we
orders with
go.
exhaustion box on ES. Double
We have this
TX on
bar right
ES.
here, 2244, 947%. 947.
Potential
So
TX on ES.
kind of holding. Now you have an ODD printing here. This is the first time perhaps that a long setup could be attempted if you're flat, right? Here's your long setup right in here. And you would have, I don't know, perhaps if you're staging in, you're buying here and you're buying here. Looks like this right here would be your stop, that red line. It doesn't look like it's really strong though, does it? This held. This would be a very difficult trade to stay in right here. Didn't really move. This would be a cover. To be in this one here would be a struggle right now, right? Be a struggle to stay in this one. Although I know it's going to go up at about the 950 mark to 10, as I can see over here what's going on. I would cover here. I'd be flat. This here was not good enough to stop the downward move. We had a yo-yo trade here, right? Yo-yo means get out. Let's move on. So that wasn't good enough to stop the down. This isn't really good.
Potential TX on ES.
See, it still didn't hold. Maybe I don't know if there would have been another place to short it again. None of those look too great. Oh, here we go. Look at this right here. 1775%, 4046. And another ODD. So here's another chance here to try a long.
Trapped orders with exhaustion box on
Perhaps
ES.
this level here is what you're looking for it to hold. See what happens here. Didn't go through it. It held right there. It'd be a tough one to hold on. You'd be at break even now, by the way, since you're either out on this move coming back down, you're out right here, because what you're honestly looking for, I don't think I take on this after it moves up. Let's go back and review this trade. So if you're getting in this move here and it comes back down, you're covering at break even. I would be out this trade. I wouldn't have taken it back down to here. You could, if you got bigger pockets and not trading Apex. You don't really want to take a loss like that. Let's think about this. This didn't really hold that one back there. So we're still, look at this right up here. 1002. Another short opportunity. There's our cover. So the short is greater right now. There's another great opportunity to short the market. Covering. None of this is good enough. Back up here again, huh? We're trading in that range. That's not really good, right? 134%. Look at that right there. This is a failure. 956. If you shorted this, you should be out. Settlement line's in the way. This might be a trade that you stay away from since settlement's right there. Prior date settlement. There's going to be some yo-yoing around at that level. If you did take that short side on, you should have covered it. It was not a good trade setup. Looking for high volume spikes right now. Oh, we got 300 now. Here's something interesting right there. 919, 1086. It's like you're covering on it though. Becomes a failure and then a cover. This one goes on without you. That's really not good enough. This one is perhaps something to think about. 1001. Cover. Right up here, here's another. This is a better one here, right? 1002. I like this setup. You got 1671 short. There's a nice little short opportunity right here. Cover. None of this is good. That one goes on without you. Ah, here we go. Look at this. 3549, 1063. Here's a good long try. Failure underneath. You got a little line, these two lines here, if it can hold when you're setting up the trade. Stair step. If you could follow behind it, you could make some money on that. This would maybe the area that you're looking at trailing behind. Maybe you got your stop at this level right there. This would be covering. I would think you'd cover around this point. Keeps moving. That was not a bad. That's probably the first long setup that was worth anything right there at 10:05. 10:05 corresponds with, I mean, these are hindsight trades, right? But 10:05 is this bar here where we have our hammer and it goes up until 10:20. The bias is on the upside. Now look, we're going back down.
Potential effects on
Now this area here is no longer active. Huh? It went back down underneath it. See what we can find. None of this looks good. None of this looks good. $237, $220, and not really looks good. Here we go. 1754, 1227. Failure above it, perhaps. Looking at this line up here, that'd be a long way up. You're closing in on the 15,600 level. But here could be a signal taking it on. You have an ODD, a cover. All right, you're out. You're not in. You're out still. This is interesting right here. Those three. There's 4 at this level. So if it doesn't bust through it, it becomes a good signal to go. This doesn't bust through. 4th time through doesn't bust. It's a good long. A cover. Doesn't matter, you're out. 502 right here, 2183. It's not that great, but maybe looking at it. Cover. $651 right here. So we're starting to base a little bit, looks like, at the 1030 mark. So got an X bar. It's a nice little setup there. The attempt along. Cover through here. Not really a great short signal there, but could have been. Trying to form an ODD. Fails. Not a really great setup there, right? But it's, I would think you'd cover on that. $926 right here, 571. These two offset each other, almost.
Potential effects on ES.
This has been a difficult one to stay in. Yeah, you're out. No. In hindsight, it looks good, but I wouldn't have touched that one. Interesting right here, 477 on 677. Basing pattern, good opportunity. No, out. Covered. None of that looks good. Now we're at current market. The best ones that you see are the ones that have a percentage of 1,000 that are better, right? High volume numbers on the low side with a big percentage number. Those are the better trade setups for trend reversals, if that's what you're looking for. All right, let's see if we can find anything now. I'm going to pause here, and if I find anything, I'll unpause. Now, I would think to be short on this move here, you need to have an offsetting volume because you've missed the long setup, right? Unless it pulls back and gives you another opportunity to get in. This is one of my favorite setups coming